dream it all. Listen close and join my song. Gentle stories all night long. Snuggle in and rest your head. Magic dreams will now be spread. Close your eyes so calm and bright. Now begins our dream. Begins our dream. Tonight.
Lulu and the Clockmaker of the Clouds. Morning light shimmered softly through the mist, painting the fields in shades of gold and silver. Lulu looked up from the hillside where she stood. The sky above her seemed strange today. The clouds were still. They didn't drift or twist or dance with the wind. They hung in the air like forgotten thoughts. "The sky isn't breathing," she whispered. The air was quiet. No wind brushed against her wool. No whisper of breeze moved the grass. Even the birds seemed unsure of where to fly. Then, far above, Lulu noticed something unusual, a shimmer between the clouds, like glass catching sunlight. The shimmer widened, and for an instant, she saw it clearly, a city resting among the clouds. Its towers were made of mist, its bridges woven from light, and at its center, faintly glowing, stood a great clock, its hands frozen mid-turn. A faint hum rolled through the air, low and tired, like a sigh from the heavens. "That's where the stillness comes from," Lulu murmured. Then she heard it, a voice, soft and distant, like wind remembering how to speak. "Little one, can you hear us?" Lulu blinked. "Who's there?" The voice trembled like chimes in slow motion. "The clouds have stopped moving. The clock of the sky has fallen asleep. Time in the winds is unraveling." Before she could reply, a gust of air suddenly swirled around her, the first movement in what felt like forever. From the shimmer above, something descended, a glowing bird made of wind and glass, its feathers transparent and edged with silver light. It landed before her, folding its delicate wings. Its eyes glimmered like morning dew. "You heard the call, didn't you?" Lulu nodded softly. "Yes," the sky spoke. The bird tilted its head, feathers catching faint rainbows in the light. "Then you might be able to help. I am Orin, messenger of the Clockmaker. I tried to wake the sky myself, but my winds have no rhythm anymore." Lulu looked up at the frozen clouds. "What happened?" The great clock stopped. Orin said quietly, "It keeps the sky turning, the rise of dawn, the drift of clouds, the breath of storms. When its heart fell silent, the world above forgot how to move." Lulu frowned gently. "And the Clockmaker?" Orin's feathers dimmed. "He is still there, sullen, the keeper of the hours. But he is fading. His light weakens with every moment the sky remains still. He says he cannot fix it alone anymore. Lulu stepped closer, her wool glinting faintly in the morning glow. Then take me to him. Oren blinked. You would climb to the clouds? Lulu smiled softly. If the sky forgot its time, maybe it just needs someone to remind it how to dream. The bird spread its wings, the wind around them beginning to stir again. Then hold on, little dreamer. We fly to the city of clouds. Lulu climbed carefully onto Oren's back, her heart fluttering like the air around them. The bird leapt upward, and the ground fell away beneath them. The air grew lighter, shimmering with color. Through the mist they rose, past drifting halos of light, past quiet thunderheads that glowed from within. Above them, the great clock loomed larger, its hands frozen and gleaming like prisms. Lulu looked down in awe. It's beautiful. Oren's voice was soft. It was once music. Every hour had its own sound, morning's laugh, evening's sigh. Now the sky only remembers silence. Lulu placed her hoof over her heart. Then we'll find its rhythm again. The bird smiled faintly. You speak like Solin used to. They soared higher until the air turned silver, and the city of clouds unfolded before them, a place of endless light, quiet and waiting, suspended in the blue. And at its center, the great clock of the sky stood still. Oren glided through the pearlescent mist, wings slicing gently through air that barely remembered how to move. The city of clouds stretched before them, bridges of vapor, towers made of transparent light, and streets that shimmered like reflections on water. Everything seemed suspended mid-breath. Lulu could feel the silence, deep and strange. Her wool tingled softly as if the air around her still wanted to sing but had forgotten the tune. This place feels asleep, she whispered. Oren nodded, his feathers flickering faintly. It dreams of motion but cannot find it. Without time, even the wind loses its name. They landed near the center of the city, where the great clock of the sky rose from a platform of glowing marble. Its face was wide and curved like the moon, its hands made of refracted light, frozen mid-turn. Around it drifted tiny gears made of mist, turning halfway, then stopping, unable to remember where to go. Lulu stepped closer. The air trembled faintly, as if sensing her. From behind the base of the clock came a faint sound, not mechanical, but human. A soft cough, followed by a slow, uneven hum. Someone's here, Lulu said softly. Oren lowered his wings. That will be Solin. They turned the corner, and there he was, the clockmaker of the clouds. An old man woven from light and vapor, his form faint but gentle. His hands shimmered like moonlight through rain, and in his chest glowed a soft, fading rhythm like the last tick of an unwound clock. He looked up as they approached. His voice was tired but kind. "Ah, a little one from the ground." Lulu bowed her head politely. "Hello, sir. I came because I heard the sky call. Solon smiled faintly, his eyes glowing like morning fog. The sky calls when it is lonely. Oren stepped closer, feathers dim with worry. Master, I brought her because she hears the wind's voice. She might help. The old man looked at Lulu thoughtfully. Do you really listen, child? Lulu nodded. I've heard the silence before. It always hides something gentle underneath. Solon chuckled softly, the sound echoing like a bell inside the mist. Then you are brave. Most fear the quiet. He turned and gestured toward the great clock towering above them. When this stopped, so did I. The clouds no longer move. The storms no longer hum. Time itself has no breath left. Lulu looked up at the motionless gears and glass hands. Can it be fixed? Solon's expression softened. Perhaps. But the heart of the clock is not a thing, it's a pulse. It listens to the rhythm of everything that lives below. When hearts grow weary, so does time. Oren tilted his head. But the world below still moves, doesn't it? Not in the way it once did, Solon said. The songs have grown softer, the laughter slower. The sky feels it all. The clouds have no rhythm because the world has forgotten how to dance. Lulu stepped closer to the clock's base. Then maybe it needs to hear again. The old man's eyes glowed faintly brighter. And what would you let it hear? Lulu smiled softly, the sound of hope. Oren's feathers shimmered. That's a strong song, little one. Solon nodded slowly. Very well, the heart of the clock lies at the summit, inside the cloud spire. It's where all winds meet. But to reach it, you must pass through the sleeping currents. They feed on silence. Lulu took a breath. Then I'll bring them a song. The old man's lips curved into a weary smile. I will guide what I can. Oren, carry her there, and if you lose the wind, listen for her hum. It will show the way. The bird lowered his wings, inviting Lulu to climb on. As she settled between his shining feathers, Solon lifted one glowing hand and touched the air. A single sound, a faint tick, echoed through the city. The clock's face shimmered. Just once. Lulu looked down at him. It's still alive. Solon nodded. Because you are. Oren spread his wings. Hold tight, Lulu. The sky is waiting. And with a single push, they rose into the quiet heavens, leaving the still city behind, flying toward the cloud spire where the winds dreamed of moving once more. The higher they climbed, the thinner the air became, soft and bright, filled with drifting ribbons of silver mist. The light here didn't come from the sun. It came from within the clouds themselves, pulsing faintly like breathing. Lulu clung to Oren's feathers as they soared upward. She could hear faint murmurs all around, whispers of wind that never quite became sound. The air trembled with the memory of motion. Oren spoke quietly over the rush of their flight. The sleeping currents live up here. They drift between time and air. If they wake, the sky will move again. Lulu nodded, her wool fluttering in the thin breeze. Then we'll wake them gently. The cloud spire rose ahead, a great pillar of white and light blue vapor, spiraling endlessly upward. It shimmered like crystal, but it moved faintly, like a heartbeat slowed by sorrow. At its peak, Lulu could see a faint glow pulsing weakly, the heart of the clock, waiting. Oren landed near the base of the spire. The surface beneath them felt alive, soft like mist yet firm enough to stand on. The air hummed faintly, and the sound of the sleeping winds echoed deep within. Lulu listened closely. The hum wasn't empty. It was full of layers, sighs, whispers, fragments of voices that had once guided the skies. She took a step forward. Hello? The air responded with a faint tremor. A low, sorrowful voice drifted through the vapor. The hours have ended. We are the winds that forgot to breathe. Oren bowed his head. They're still dreaming. Lulu closed her eyes and took a deep breath. Then let's remind them of morning. She began to hum, quietly at first, just a single note that trembled in the stillness. It was warm, steady, full of calm. The hum grew, spreading through the mist, touching the spiraling walls of the spire. The sound echoed and returned, forming soft layers of harmony. The clouds shivered. The hum deepened into a slow rhythm, and the sleeping voices stirred. Oren's feathers caught the vibrations, glowing brighter. It's working, he whispered. From deep within the spire came a sudden gust, gentle but full of life. The air moved, swirling around them. The voices rose again, stronger now. We hear you. We remember. The spire's glow pulsed faster. The mist above began to swirl, forming a luminous spiral of air and light. Lulu's hum merged with the sound until it became something larger, a melody shaped like wind. Oren spread his wings, catching the current. Lulu, the winds are waking. She looked up, eyes wide with wonder. The entire spire was alive now, the clouds dancing in circles of light. The frozen hands of the great clock far below shimmered faintly, a sign that time itself had felt the change. But then, the light flickered. The wind around them began to waver, unstable and wild. A deep, echoing voice rolled through the clouds. Too much silence, too long asleep, the rhythm is breaking. Oren struggled to steady his flight. They're waking too quickly. Lulu closed her eyes again. Then I'll steady them. The sky needs a heartbeat, not a storm. She placed her hoof gently against the spire's glowing surface. The light beneath her touch pulsed faster, syncing with her own rhythm, slow, calm, and kind. Breathe, she whispered, one at a time. Just breathe. The great spire responded. The wind slowed, finding balance. The wild tremors softened into a gentle, steady pulse. The voice that had thundered before now sighed in relief. The air remembers, time moves again. Oren looked up, feathers shimmering in soft gold. You've done it, Lulu. You gave them rhythm. Far below, the clock of the sky began to turn. Slowly, carefully, its great hands shifted, the light running through its glass face in perfect harmony with the winds above. The clouds that had hung still began to drift again, glowing in motion. The sky was breathing. Lulu smiled softly, feeling the warmth return to the air. There you are, she whispered. Welcome back. The clouds responded with a low, melodic hum, not words, but gratitude. Oren turned to her, voice gentle. The sky has a pulse again. You've given time its breath. Lulu looked toward the horizon, where dawn was beginning to rise. Then let's go home. The world below is waiting to feel it, too. Oren nodded. Solon will be smiling again. And as they descended through the living air, the sky around them shimmered, not frozen anymore, but full of motion and music. As Oren and Lulu glided downward through the newly awakened sky, the change was everywhere. The air shimmered with color, ribbons of pale gold and silver drifting through the mist like laughter made visible. The clouds that had once hung still were now alive, drifting and curling with gentle grace. The city of clouds waited below, its towers glowing softly as though waking from a long dream. The great clock of the sky stood at its center, and for the first time in ages, its hands were moving, slowly, carefully, beautifully. When they landed near the clock space, Solon was waiting for them. His form was brighter now, no longer fading, but clear and luminous, his eyes gleaming with calm joy. Lulu hurried to him, her will glowing faintly in the reflected light. It's moving again, she said softly. Solon smiled, the faintest shimmer of tears in his misty gaze. Yes, the heart is awake. The winds breathe once more. Oren landed beside them, his feathers catching the rhythm of the turning clock. Lulu helped the winds find their voice again, he said proudly. The old clockmaker turned to her, his expression full of quiet wonder. Do you know what you've done, little one? Lulu tilted her head shyly. I only listened. Solon chuckled, a sound like rain against glass. And that is what the world forgets to do most often. He stepped forward and placed his faint, luminous hand on the surface of the great clock. The gears within it shimmered brighter, and a soft chime rang through the air, not sharp or metallic, but warm, like a bell made of light. Each moment was trapped, Solon said quietly, but now they can move again. Morning will rise, evening will sigh, and the stars will dance in time with the wind. Lulu's eyes widened as the sound grew, a symphony of subtle rhythms filling the sky. The hum of passing clouds and whispering breezes forming a melody. Oren Oren folded his wings and looked upward. Listen, the whole sky is singing. Lulu closed her eyes, letting the sound wash over her. It was more than music. It was movement. It was the heartbeat of the world above, soft and endless. When she opened her eyes again, Solon was looking at her with deep affection. "The clock will keep turning now," he said gently, "but I will rest soon. I was made to guide the hours, not to outlast them." Lulu frowned softly. "Will you disappear?" The old man smiled. "Not disappear, only become part of the rhythm again. Every breeze that brushes your wall, every shadow that stretches at sunset, that will be me." Oren's eyes dimmed. "You'll become the wind." Solon nodded. "The sky doesn't need a keeper anymore. It needs those who listen." He turned to Lulu. "And when you walk beneath the open sky, remember, time will move as long as hearts still care to hear it." Lulu's throat tightened. "Then I'll keep listening." Solon's light began to brighten, not sharply, but gently, spreading across the platform, touching the gears, the clouds, and the very air around them. His form began to dissolve into drifting motes of silver and gold. The old man's voice grew faint, but warm. "You've given the sky back its breath, and me, my peace." Then he was gone. Oren bowed his head, feathers trembling. The wind brushed past them, soft, kind, full of music. "He's still here," Lulu said, her voice small but sure. Oren looked up, his eyes glowing faintly. "Yes, every time the wind moves, he'll be there." They stood together as the great clock ticked onward, the hands turning gracefully in perfect rhythm. Each sound of its motion echoed across the sky like a heartbeat. Lulu gazed up at it and smiled. The world is breathing again. Oren spread his wings, the light of dawn glinting along them. "Then let's take that breath home." And together, they rose once more into the wind that now sang with life, carried by the pulse of time, the warmth of light, and the memory of the one who made the sky move again. The morning spread like a promise across the world below. As Lulu and Oren glided through the open sky, the air shimmered with color, soft gold, silver, and pink streaming across the clouds like brushstrokes of light. The world felt lighter now. The breeze that carried them was alive again, weaving through the valleys, over rivers, and across sleeping fields. Every gust had rhythm. Every whisper carried a melody. Lulu smiled as the wind brushed her wool. "It feels happy." Oren's voice was soft and full of warmth. "The sky remembers its purpose, to move, to change, to breathe. You gave it that gift again." They passed over the edge of a drifting cloud bank, and Lulu looked down. The reflection of the great clock of the sky shone faintly in the water below, ticking in perfect harmony with the rolling waves. "The world below can feel it too," she said in wonder. Oren nodded. The air is the bridge between hearts. When one learns to listen, the others begin to hear as well. For a while they flew in silence, not the heavy silence from before, but one filled with peace. The wind moved around them like a song without words. After some time, Oren turned his bright eyes toward Lulu. "What will you do now, little dreamer?" Lulu looked ahead, where the horizon glowed with the soft blush of dawn. "Keep walking, I think. There are so many silences left in the world. Maybe they're just waiting for someone to listen." The bird chuckled softly, his feathers rippling like clear glass in sunlight. "Then the wind will follow you. After all, it owes you a song." Lulu laughed, a small, clear sound that carried easily through the open air. It echoed faintly, and for a moment, she thought she heard a reply, the faint voice of Solon, drifting with the breeze. "You kept time for me, little one. Now let the hours dance." Oren tilted his wings, catching a warm updraft. The clouds below them swirled and sparkled in the light. "Do you hear it?" he asked. Lulu nodded. "The wind is singing." They soared higher for a moment, tracing a circle through the sky. The air shimmered with music, the soft ticking of the great clock below, the laughter of the clouds, and the sigh of the horizon as morning became day. Lulu closed her eyes, breathing it in. "It sounds like forever." Oren smiled. "That's what time is meant to feel like, not a chain, but a song that never ends." The bird turned his wings toward the sun, and they glided slowly downward, back toward the waking world. The fields below shimmered with dew, the rivers sparkled with rhythm, and even the trees seemed to sway to the quiet pulse of the sky. When they reached the ground again, the wind brushed gently past Lulu's wool, a soft touch, like a farewell. She looked up at the clouds, which now drifted freely, their edges golden in the light. "Goodbye, Solon," she whispered. "Thank you for the sky." Oren bowed his head, his feathers glowing faintly. "And thank you, Lulu. The heavens will remember you every time the wind turns." Lulu smiled, her heart full of peace. "Then I'll listen for them." As the breeze carried her words upward, a faint shimmer crossed the clouds like a smile written in sunlight. The wind's voice whispered one last time, almost laughing, "Keep time with your heart, little one." And as the first birds began to sing below, the great clock above ticked softly on, not to mark the passing of moments, but to celebrate the rhythm of a sky reborn.
Now it's quiet, night is near. Drift away through stars so clear. Lulu whispers soft and bright, sleep so well and good night. Sweetest dreams will softly flow. Lulu stays with you, you know, till we meet again, my dear. your dreams keep drawing near. Till we meet again, my dear, let your dreams keep drawing